Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Agent Psycho, aka Sniper98. Welcome back to another month of the Whales Log. I know I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, new viewers, thanks to the gacha addiction videos. If this is your first Whales Log, welcome. What this is a monthly series that I do for a few of my gacha games, not all of them, just the ones that I feel like doing this for. Genshin is one of them. And since this is the beginning of the month, you're going to see me steadily come out with more Whales logs for all the gacha games that I played that I do these for, like I said. And so, yeah, what these are essentially just monthly updates to, like, how things are going in each of my gacha games, each of the games that I do these Whales logs for. So, yeah, Genshin, like I said, is one of them. And so, yeah, here we go. Normally I would just go over, like, say, edit all the new stuff or like any changes that I've made to any of my characters at all if I happen to remember them, that I've made in the past month, basically, because like I said, this is a monthly series that I do, so anything that's been new or changed, like new characters, or if I've changed around some builds for some of my characters, then I talk about it here in these kinds of videos. But because like I said, because there have been a lot of you, there's I assume there's going to be quite a few of you who are watching this video, who are new here, who have come here from my gacha addiction video that, you know, kind of hit the algorithm a couple weeks back, like 2 weeks ago, I think, at this point. I think it's a good time for me to go over all the characters in my account really quick. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. Typically, at least back in the old days, my gacha or my Whales logs, especially for Genshin Impact, used to be like almost an hour long, because there was just a lot that I had to say, a lot that I did over the months. So I would talk about them in depth. I would talk about the characters and how I felt about them and what I did for them and so on and so forth. These days, obviously, since I'm not whaling as hard, and because, you know, I've already grinded this game quite a bit over the last couple of years, these days is not as much to talk about, but they usually go for about 10 or 15 minutes at least. This one's probably gonna go for like half an hour, because, you know, I want to go over all my characters, because when I claimed earlier, especially my gacha addiction video, that I have all the characters in the game and I have all of them leveled up and, you know, geared out and with their own best in slot weapons and whatnot, I actually do mean it. And so, in case you guys wanted to see proof of that, like, okay, so you talk all this big game, but, you know, how about you actually show that, right? Because you didn't really show it before in your gacha addiction video. Here's where I'm gonna do it. So, again, it might take some time, but I'm gonna go through everybody anyway and give you a couple of quick notes on each of the characters, how I feel about them, how I use them, if I do use them, and yeah, here we go. So, starting with Amber, I mean, just from Amber alone, because Genshin sorts your characters by level automatically from your highest level all the way to the left, so all the way to the left as in here, with all your lowest level characters to the right. So the fact that my Amber is level 90, and we're all the way at the right anyway, already, should tell you that all my characters are level 90. So, let's just get that out of the way right now. Anyways, here's Amber. These are the stats. Doesn't have crits because it doesn't have crit stats because I run her as a support. As you can tell, because she's got a lot of energy recharge there. I actually don't even know if she needs that much energy recharge, because her energy cost is only 40. So it's like, huh, all right. Does she really need that much energy recharge? But whatever. I run her with Elegy, and she's on 4-piece noblesse. Pretty straightforward. The ironic part about this is that I actually run Amber. These days, I run Amber with Dehya on a Mono Dehya Pyro team, because I think Mono Pyro is the best team that you can put Dehya on. Usually, I run Dehya, Kazuha, Xiangling, and Bennett, but sometimes I'll drop Xiangling and run Amber instead if for whatever reason I feel like that's worth it. If I feel like that's necessary. I've noticed that in this current Abyss cycle, at the time of this recording, I think floor 11 or 12, I think 11, you go up against some Ruin Guards, not Ruin Guards, some Ruin Hunters, the ones that fly. And so, that floor that half on whatever the Ruin Hunters are on. They're really good. My mono pyro Dehya team is really good against that. Except if the Ruin Hunters fly. I got lucky when I was clearing it for the first time, and the Ruin Hunters did not fly, so I didn't need Amber. But in case that the Ruin Hunters were being bitches and kept flying and getting out of range, then yeah, I would have replaced Xiangling with Amber, because obviously Amber's an archer, so she can reach the she can hit the Ruin Hunters if they start flapping, they start going up into the air and stuff. So I can bring them down and have Dehya punch them to death on air or something like that. So yeah, that's the team that I would usually run Amber on these days. The issue is though that since I'm running Bennett, my Bennett already has 4-piece noblesse. It obviously makes my Amber's 4-piece noblesse kind of redundant, because as you can see, it says the effect from 4-piece emblem doesn't stack. So the thought has crossed my mind to change Amber's set to something else, but then again, I don't really know what I would change it to. I suppose maybe I could change this to another support set, but honestly, I think I'll just keep Amber on 4-piece noblesse, because there may come a time where I want to use Amber in a team where, yeah, I'll use her in like another double pyro team or something like that, but we'll see. But as of now, this is what she's on. And of course, talent's 999. Well, in her case, 91212, because constellations. And yes, Amber is at C6, because I've been playing Genshin Impact for long enough where I've been able to grab all of her constellations just from the monthly shop refreshes with the star glitter. So I've rarely gotten extra copies of the 3 Mondstadt starters of Amber, Lisa, and Kaya. From, like, for example, Wanderlust Invocation. Like, I remember back in the day when Genshin Impact first came out, a lot of people wailed a shit ton on, like, Wanderlust Invocation banner, for example, to get, like, all the 5-star characters and whatnot. And so, in the process, they got a ton of constellations for, like, the Mondstadt starters, right? Not me. I didn't really roll much on the Wanderlust Invocation banner myself, so yeah, all the rolls that I've done on the Wanderlust banner have just been from, like, the Acquaint Fates that I've gotten from, like, battle passes or just playing the game. So, yeah, all my constellations for, like, Amber, Lisa, and Kaya, like I said, have come from just the monthly star glitter shop refreshes over the years. Anyways, on to Xiangling. So, here's my Xiangling build. Obviously, we all know what Xiangling is capable of. One of the true pyro archons of the game. Her and Bennett, obviously. But yeah, here are my Xiangling stats. 62 crit rate, 62 CR, 134 CD. Stats could be better, but I haven't invested too heavily into Xiangling. I mean, honestly, this is good enough for her anyway, just because she's that good. And 191 ER. She does have her own Engulfing Lightning, which is, yeah. For those of you who are free to play or more like Dolphin or not exactly like Super Way or anything, this might come as a kind of a shock. It's like, wow, you gave Xiangling her own Engulfing Lightning. Yes, I did. Because I remember back when, I remember me rolling for Engulfing Lightning just for Xiangling too. It was the second Raiden banner. So basically Raiden's first rerun banner. And so yeah, instead of rolling on Raiden, because I already had her C6 at the time, I was like, nope, I'm gonna go straight for a weapon, specifically for Xiangling, and I got it. And so yeah, Xiangling has her own Engulfing Lightning, which is part of the reason why her crit stats don't need to be as good, because she has Engulfing Lightning to make up the difference. So there you go, it's great. She's also on 4-piece emblem, naturally. Her stats themselves are not that... The stats on her artifacts themselves are not very good. Maybe one day I'll go back and make like a concerted effort, make a push to get Xiangling to 70 crit rate, 140% crit damage, because I believe I can do that. It'll just take a while because of how much of a bitch it is to get good emblem pieces. But the quality of her emblem pieces are not that great. Like, they're okay, right? But there's definitely a lot of room for improvement here. So, I mean, honestly, her circlet's probably the best one. Because, crit rate, double-digit crit damage. So, like, this one's actually pretty decent, all things considered. But, I know I can get her a better Pyro Cup, even though that's going to be, god-awful. it's possible. Her timepiece is okay, but it again could be better. Yeah, it could be. Her feather is actually pretty damn nice. You know, 30% crit damage and whatnot. And then her flower could definitely be better, yeah. Even though it did get pretty lucky with the crit rate. So, all of her artifacts are like, yeah, they're kind of decent, but they could definitely be better. So yeah, my dream with Xiangling is to get her to 7140 while maintaining the energy recharge that she does have. Which I think I don't need to worry about her energy recharge per se, because I don't think a lot of her artifacts even have ER substats to begin with. Like here's one, but only had one rule and it started with it. Here's some energy recharge. That's fine. But yeah, those are the only two pieces that she has that have ER substats. So yeah. Those are kind of my long-term plans with Xiangling. C6, naturally. And then 9, 12, 12. Oh, gotta answer my phone. That's my alarm. I'm waking up pretty early to record this because I got some stuff to do in the afternoons. So, wanted to make sure I woke up on time for this. So I record this and render it out and put up my YouTube channel before I leave for the day. Anyways, here's Bennett. Here he is. I run Bennett standard as a standard support, so he has no crits. I know that, you know, DPS Bennett builds are possible and other shenanigans that people have theory crafted, but I don't run any of that. I just run Bennett as your standard Giga Chad attack buffer. Got a lot of energy recharge, naturally. Let's see. He has Oculophonia because I'm sure we all know this by now, but in case you guys, for those of you who don't know, Bennett's attack buff from his ultimate scales purely off of his base attack. And yeah, this number right here where my cursor is. So if you only care about the attack buff that he gives, then give him the highest base attack sword that you have. And Oculophonia is one of the highest base attack swords in the game. It was like the OG highest base attack sword. Because Oculophonia obviously has been in the game since forever. Ever since the beginning of the game. And yeah, 674, sorry. Base attack at level 90. And that's the highest that a sword can get. So, there you go. I assume there are other swords now that also hit 674 base attack. At least I'm pretty sure. I feel like yeah, Miss Splitter right here. So, if it's not Oculophonia, right, you can give him Miss Splitter. Because they both have 674 attack. So as you can see here, here's my 4-piece Noblesse on Bennett. Which is why I said earlier that, you know, with Amber, I've been thinking about revising her artifact. Because whenever I do use her, I usually run her with Bennett to support Dehya. And yeah, obviously 4-piece Noblesse pieces don't stack, as it says here. So my Bennett is only C5. I can get him to C6 if I want to. But I keep him off C6. These days, this is kind of a legacy thing, where back in the day, yeah, we were like, oh yeah, don't C6 your Bennett because he'll ruin a lot of teams because, you know, Pyro Infusion, all that. These days, C6ing Bennett is not that much of an issue anymore, because now we have a ton of DPS characters where they infuse themselves with their own element, and you can't override it. So C6 Bennett isn't as big of a deal anymore. Really, nowadays, C6 Bennett only really ruins, like, Eula teams, right? Eula physical teams, and, you know, running Eula physical teams in 2024 Omega lol. So like if you C6 your Bennett these days, it's not that big of a deal, assuming you have, you know, of course, the right DPS characters like Raiden or whatever. So it's like whatever, honestly. I just don't bother C6ing him at this point because, you know, on the off chance that I decide to run Eula or whatever, then yeah, there you go. 9, 12, 12, naturally. Xinyan, so she's a bit of a less popular character, but I built her anyway. This is my stats for Xinyan. Only a very low crit rate. I'll explain why that later. I want to go over her kit. Actually, I'll just explain it now. Her C2 gives her ultimate 100% crit rate. So my Xinyan build is basically get Xinyan her ultimate as quickly as possible, though to be fair, her energy recharge should be a little bit higher if that's the case. And give her as much crit damage as possible, and to just have her go ham. And usually works out pretty well. But yeah, that's why my stats on Xinyan look the way they do. She has Red Horn. I mean, she scales off of defense. Actually, even though technically she scales with defense, the weird part about her is that the only thing that scales with defense on her kit, I believe, is her shield or something like that. As far as like offensive stats go, she actually still scales with attack. But you know, crit damage. So there you go. She runs 2-piece Pale Flame and Bloodstained Chivalry. I actually don't think she cares for 4-piece Pale Flame, yeah, because the way Pale Flame works, 4-piece, is that her skill needs to constantly hit enemies, but the problem with Xinyan is that her skill only hits once and has a fucking 18-second cooldown. So yeah, she's not going to be able to work with 4-piece Pale Flame. But because the majority of her damage actually comes from physical damage, you want to give her physical sets anyway, so you know, 2-piece Bloodstain and 2-piece Pale Flame, because they're both physical damage. So, there you go. So that's her artifact. She is C6. And then 9, 12, 12. Yeah. So yeah, Xinyan is fun to play whenever I do play her. But she is very niche. I will say that much. She's fun though. Especially if you fight her, if you use her to fight cryo abyss mages. Oh yeah, and you use her ultimate against them. It's hilarious because her ultimate melts their shields in like less than a second. Because her ultimate hits pyro super fast. So yeah, that's kind of funny to watch. Another quirk about Xinyan's ult specifically is that when you first ult with her, she does her pyro damage after. She hits enemies with a bunch of physical attack immediately, like almost as soon as you hit cube, you hit her ultimate, and then she deals pyro damage with all the pyrotechnics that she does around herself when she ults. So yeah. It's kind of weird how it works, but that's how it works, I guess. Also, she's really scared of, like, frogs or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's Xinyan. Here's Yanfei. Here's my stats on her. 65 CR, 190 CD. Nothing too amazing, but she gets the job done. Here's energy recharge for her. 130 ER. She does have a lost prayer, or her own lost prayer. I actually don't know what her actual best in slot weapon is, but at the time I had a couple copies of Lost Prayer lying around. As you can see here, 3 of my characters have it. So I was like, I'll just give this to you then. So yeah, she has that. Not very convenient to run because crit rate main stat. Runs 4-piece Pale Flame. There you go. C6 and 9, 12, 12. Yeah. Sometimes I run Yanfei in case I ever feel, in case I'm feeling fruity and I want like a more ranged pyro DPS character. To be fair though, her stats could be better. Her artifacts, again, not the greatest, but they get the job done for the quality that they are. She got some decent ones like her her flower. Her flower is actually quite nice. Feather could be better though. Yeah. Same thing with her attack percent. With her timepiece. Yeah. Her cup is actually really good. Double crit with double-digit crit rate and a little bit of attack percent. Yeah, that's actually her cup is actually quite nice. But yeah, again, if possible, I'd love to get her to like 70 crit rate, 200% crit damage, because I think that if you give a character, especially a 5-star weapon that has either crit rate or crit damage, it should be possible to get them to 70 crit rate, 200% crit damage. Even if they're just a 4-star character or any other character that doesn't get like free crit stats, thanks to their ascension, like, you know, depending on what their ascension stat is. But yeah, that's my Yanfei. Here's Mr. Toma. Surprisingly, he has 100% crit damage. Trust me, I don't really care for crit stats on him, obviously, because I run Toma as more of a support, as you can tell by his energy recharge. I don't know where he's getting all this crit damage from. Probably his artifacts just happen to roll really well into a crit damage or something, I forget. But he has Skyward Spine. I forget why I gave it to him, but he has it. I don't even know if this is his best in slot, but again, he has it. Energy recharge main stat, main reason why I even gave it to him in the first place. It's either this one or Favonius, obviously. Favge, right? Everybody loves Favonius. Fav Spear or Fav Sword. He does run two-piece melt and two-piece severed or his two-piece emblem, right, for the energy. Because I believe as a support he does have an 80 cost ultimate or whatever. Yeah, 80 cost. So there you go. Oops. Where is he? So yeah, C6, 9, 12, 12. Admittedly, I don't really use Toma that much. However, last year I remember they released one Abyss cycle that was particularly brutal on a lot of people, including me. Surprisingly, I even had a little trouble with it initially until I figured to run Toma. That Abyss cycle was the one where on floor 12, on like 12 like 1 second half or some shit like that, you had to deal with like 2 cryo heralds and a hydro herald at the same time, and so it was brutal trying to fight them without like a pyro shield or a shield of some kind, because they just kept freezing your ass over and over. And so initially I was like, well, okay, how do you deal with these guys like the easiest? And then I remembered, oh yeah, right, Toma not only has a shield, but he's pyro too, so you know, hydro and cryo herald, or at least the cryo heralds should have a harder time with them. And not only that, Toma's shield also puts pyro on you intermittently pretty frequently, right? So even if you get hit by cryo and get slowed down or whatever, get the cryo debuff, he should cleanse it off you. And sure enough, he worked like a fucking charm. So yeah, I have used Toma before seriously, and he worked like a fucking dream back in that one Abyss. Haven't used him since, because obviously we haven't had another Abyss cycle like that since then. Right, where they just throw, you know, Hydra and Cryo Heralds at your ass. But, you know, if they ever do it again, then I know who to go back to. So, yeah. Toma's just a perfect example of, like, oh, like, you level up a character and they save your fucking ass for this one situation when normally you would never use them. So, yeah. Toma has my eternal, my eternal thanks for being that one character who could kick that, who basically easy moded that one Abyss cycle for me. So, yeah, he's cool. Cheverus, or however you say her name. I call her Chevy because I'm American, and you know, Chevy's that one American car company. But here she is. She's my latest 4-star. Currently, I actually don't have gaming. I know you don't pronounce his name like that, but you know, again, American, so I always love to butcher names, right? So yeah, I don't have gaming yet, which makes Chevy my latest 4-star. And I actually barely got her on like the last day of her ban, like the second to last day, something like that. It took me a lot of multis, free-to-play multis, because I try not to spend on gacha games these days, because, you know, me being a broke-ass bitch and all. So, yeah, it took me a while to get Chevy, but she's finally here. So yeah, my latest 4-star. So let's see how I've built her. Currently, she has about 63 CR, 173 CD, and then about 125 energy recharge. Her energy recharge should be higher, right? Because she's supposed to be a support, mainly a support. It doesn't need to be too high, actually, though. I think 30% energy recharge should be good enough because her ult cost is only 60. Thankfully, because most of her support comes from her passives, actually, or at least they should. So, yeah. Yeah, I've given her a Staff of Homa. Just because. I had a spare Staff of Homa lying around because I believe I got it from whenever Hu Tao's last raid up was. So yeah, I got a spare copy of Staff of Homa while I was going for that other weapon I happened to be rolling for. I forget who Hu Tao was on raid up was on rerun with like a new character, because that's the only way I would have gotten an extra copy of Staff of Homa. I mean, I already have a freaking 6th copy lying around here just in case another spear user comes along and wants Staff of Homa for some reason, which I'm sure that'll happen. But yeah. But yeah, here's my Chevy's built right now. Right at the moment, she's running 2-piece melt and 2-piece noblesse. However, I do want to give her a full proper 4-piece noblesse set. The reason why is, and why is like, oh, why don't you just give her something else? Because, you know, Bennett's already running 4-piece noblesse. I've thought about it, and for if you want to use Chevy in a standard double pyro and double, like for example, electro team, then you can't run Bennett because Chevy's already pyro, and your other pyro has to be a fast and reliable pyro applicator. Because neither Bennett nor Chevy can put pyro on enemies consistently. At least in my opinion. As far as like I'm able to tell from me playing Chevy for like the past couple of days. So most likely, unless you run triple pyro, you're not going to be able to run 4-piece noblesse, or you're not going to be able to run Bennett, sorry, with Chevy. And so yeah, there is still a reason to give Chevy 4-piece noblesse for that reason. Because since you're not running Bennett, somebody has to run 4-piece pyro, and yeah, it could be Chevy. And I feel like in my cases, my use cases for Chevy, you know, necessitates her running 4-piece noblesse, because my other supports might not be able to do that. Now that I think about it, I'll probably run her with Cookie, and my Cookie Shinobu already has 4-piece noblesse, so I'm probably being very redundant with this, but you know, whatever. I actually don't know what our other artifact sets would even be anyway, aside from 4-piece noblesse, because she's kind of meant to be a support anyway. But I mean, support, and I give her Staff of Homa, yeah, right. So, but anyways, those are my initial plans with Chevy for now, and obviously they can change in the future, but that's how they are right now. And obviously she's only C0 because I was only able to go for one copy of her. You can kind of tell where I started becoming a broke-ass bitch when we go into the 4-star characters where their talent, or they don't have any constellations whatsoever. It's actually kind of funny. But, yeah. Her talent's only at 666 because she's a very recent character. And yeah, I've been funneling all my weekly materials into like Navia to get her triple crown and whatnot, so yeah, her talent leveling will come much later. After a while. But yeah, that's my Chevy. Barbara, I haven't touched her in a while. That sounds weird. Please don't clip that out of context. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't messed around with my Barbara's build in a while. But as you can see, she's meant to be more of a support. That being said, as a support, she should probably have a little bit higher ER, but yeah. But this is what I got on her right now. Like a very old build for my Barbara, because as you can tell, because she's got R5 thrilling tails, and ironically, I think, or not even ironically, I think funnily enough, this is still one of her best weapons anyway, because you know, support and whatnot. OG 4-piece maidens. So as you can tell, I definitely ran Barbara as a healer for sure, and then C6 constellation 9, 12, 12. I haven't used Barbara in a while, I'm gonna be honest, because as far as healers go, I started with Jean early on, so I didn't really get a big chance to really use Barbara. I have dabbled with the thought of giving Barbara a 4-piece Heart of Death build, or like a more offensive build, so I can transition her and use her more as a DPS, because I know that's possible. I knew people have done it before, I'm pretty sure, as like semi-meme builds. But I've actually seriously thought of doing it myself. I just don't know when I'll ever get around to doing that. Because like if I wanted to run a DPS Hydro Catalyst character, I have Mona. And Mona is my favorite character in the game. I already poured my blood, sweat, and tears into getting her build to the point where it is now. So, like, yeah. That's my problem with Barbara. Is like I don't know if I'll ever come back to building her again. Because there's just really no need. But maybe one day. Never say never, right? But there's my Barbara. Xingqiu, everybody knows this dude. He hardly needs an introduction. So, he's got 75 CR, only 132 CD. He's like Xiangling, where I know his stats can be better, but this is as good as it gets right now. And then 191 energy recharge. He's got, naturally, Sack Sword, R5. And 4-piece emblem. Again, his stats could be a lot better. For who is it? For Xingqiu, yeah, for Xingqiu, I think it's also possible for me to be able to get him to like 70 crit rate, 140 crit damage. I mean, even better if I could maintain his crit rate at 75 and get his ass all the way to 150 crit damage. That'd be like the fucking dream. But that'd be very tough, obviously. Especially because, you know, emblem pieces. Oh, there I go, exiting the character menu again. God, we still have so many more characters to go. Holy shit. And I've already been yapping for like fucking 30 minutes. And yeah, talents 9, 12, 12. C6, naturally. But yeah. Xingqiu's also an oddball, because even though I know how good Xingqiu is, and he's clearly one of the best characters in the game, one of the best 4-stars for sure. I actually have not really used them that much. I've never really used them that much. Even back before Yelan came out, I didn't really use them that much because I just didn't need to. But especially now that we have Yelan now, right here. And Yelan is, you know, if you want to, like, boil it down, like, a little too simplistically, yeah, Yelan is basically, you know, 5-star Xingqiu and all that. So, yeah. I have even less of a reason to run Yelan now. Or, not Yelan, Xingqiu now. But sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. And he's there whenever I need him. Here's Candace. Candace, these nuts. Anyways. So, yeah. Again, another example of a more support character, or a character who's supposed to be used as a support, having some crit stats on them. It's like, why does she have these stats? 68.4 CR. It'd be great if she could get to like 70% CR, but this is good enough for me for now. Over 200% CD. 51% recharge. Her stats are actually not bad, all things considered. And in case you're wondering why she has that much crit damage, this is why. And she's on 4-piece emblem, naturally. I believe she wants 4-piece emblem. At least I think so. C6, and then 9, 12, 12. I do like Candace a lot. To the point where I've actually seriously considered changing her artifact build while somehow keeping her stat line the same. So something like 70% CR, 200% CD. And switching her to a more offensive build. I forget what the exact build was, or like her exact artifact set was that enables her to do this build. But it's one where she basically focuses on her normal attacks, because even though her support, the rest of her kit scales with HP, obviously, her normal attacks do not. They just scale with attack. So I kind of want to run a Candace build where she just focuses on her normals, and she uses her own ultimate to infuse her normals with Hydra, so that way you can run like a Hydra-infused Candace build. I think that would actually be pretty fun. I'm gonna just have to look up like what her artifact build was for that, to make that playstyle possible, or to optimize that playstyle. Because yeah, otherwise I don't really use Candace that much. Yeah. I know that Candace was kind of a disappointment with a lot of characters, not only because she's only a 4-star, but her kit is kind of janky to try to use. So yeah, nobody really runs her. But yeah, I do like my Candace. It's just that I haven't had the chance to switch her over to that meme normal attack build that I've kind of been thinking about switching her to. Maybe one day. Not sure when that's gonna happen though. Here's Kirara. And again, she also has some decent crit stats on her too. 76 CR, 173.6 CD, 20% recharge. For her, she actually has Primordial Jade Cutter. Primordial Jade Cutter is just one of those weapons where I have a ton of copies of for no reason. Yeah, they just keep showing up for some reason. Actually, no, they don't just keep coming up. This is because a lot of weapon reruns have had Jade Cutter rerun alongside them. And so I got all these copies, these spare copies, rolling for other weapons, kind of like Staff of Homa, basically. It's just that I found that we don't have as many 4-star sword users, like one-hand sword users. So I still have these copies kind of lying around, and nobody's using them. But I still keep them around in case somebody wants them. Because again, Primordial Jade Cutter gives you freaking 44% crit rate. Yeah, they thought this was nice, or they thought this was fair. So yeah. That's why my Kiara runs Primordial Jade Cutter. It's nice that the passive also gives her a 20% attack, 20% not attack, HP boost. I don't know how useful the attack boost is though, but hey, at least she gets a bit of a HP bonus from it, if nothing else. She runs 4P, or not even a 4-piece, just 2-piece for Kasha and 2-piece Melt. I don't even know what her best in slot artifact set is. Like, Kirara was one of the first 4-star characters. As you can tell by her constellation, I don't have any copies of her whatsoever, other than her base one, her base copy. But yeah, I think Kirara was like one of my first 4-stars that I got in Genshin after I decided to really cut down on my spending in Genshin ever since, you know, I went broke on gacha games. So yeah. Her artifact set kind of reflects that, because I don't even know what her best in slot artifact set even is. Surprisingly, she does quite a bit of damage for what her stats are and what her artifact sets are. So kind of funny. But yeah, there she is again. C0 999. But yeah, Kirara's cute. I'm glad I have her though. Here's Cole. Cole, she's got 80% crit rate almost, and 184 crit damage, a little bit of energy recharge. Ideally, I believe Cole's is how expensive is her ultimate? 60. I found that even though she only has a 60 cost ult, her energy recharge could be like, it should be a little better. Like, I think it should be at least like 25-30% ideally. But I think she can get away with 20% ER if your rotations are good enough. I've noticed that with only 16%, Cole does kind of struggle getting her ultimate. Might be because she has a little bit like a longer cooldown skill. Let's see, at 12 seconds, that's kind of a long time. And she probably doesn't get that many energy particles whenever she does hit enemies with her skill. So, yeah, it's important to give your Cole a little bit higher energy recharge to make up for that. At least in my opinion. As for weapon, she's running Skyward Harp for the crit rate and the extra crit damage, which is nice. And she runs naturally 4-piece forward Kasha as a Dendro debuffer, basically. So, the reason why I have my Cole on 4-piece Dendro or 4-piece Deepwood is the proper name, is because I actually do not usually run her with Nahida. If I do run, like, for example, double Dendro teams in Abyss, usually I run Nahida on one team, either by herself or with another Dendro character, like, say, for example, I don't know, Yao Yao, because she's a healer, Yao Yao, that is. And I'll run Cole with, like, Dendro Traveler, for example, on second half. So that's why I don't run. That's why I run Deepwood, 4-piece Deepwood on Cole as well. Even though I'm pretty sure people have tested. I'm pretty sure I've heard that people have tested 4-piece Deepwood to see if they stack, but they don't. Kind of like 4-piece Noblesse in that sense. Even though the difference is they don't tell you that the Dendro debuff resist or resistance debuff is it doesn't really stack. The game doesn't tell you for whatever reason. So yeah, there you go. My Cole is C6 though. Yeah, she's also 9-12-12. So yeah, there you go. Yao Yao, voiced by Ilya. For those of you who know that is, or who know whoever that is, because I am a Fate head. Crit stats irrelevant, because healer. 194 energy recharge, because I believe her ultimate costs 80. Yeah, naturally, because she's a support. She's on Favonius Lance. Pretty simple, just a very simple build for her. Say, you know, fuck crit stats, give her energy recharge, or give her a Favonius Lance for the energy recharge and whatnot, and 4-piece Noblesse. So yeah, very easy build. She's also C6, and she's also at 9-12-12. So yeah, like I said, I run Yao Yao with Nahida sometimes whenever I feel like running Nahida in a double Dendro team. Alright, here's Kava, our favorite asset deleter. For those of you guys who remember that bug. So yeah, no crit stats. 164 energy recharge. I forget how much his ult costs. He had 80. I don't know why his ult costs that much, but you know, it does. And he's running Male Flower because Elemental Mastery. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure I run Kave on Bloom teams. Right? His whole thing is like triggering Bloom as if you were Nilo or whatever, without the Super Bloom part. So yeah, that's why he doesn't have any crit stats, because I don't think it would matter. Maybe if you run it with Nahida, then maybe it would start to matter. But I haven't really paid too close attention to my Kave build. I don't really use him naturally. I mean, as you can tell, he's only C3. So yeah, he is there in case I ever want to use him. He's also got 4-piece gilded as well, which is kind of funny. But yeah, there he is. Lisa, all right, Lisa. So these are her stats: 47 CR, 227 CD with 62% injury recharge. My Lisa build is actually incomplete right now at the moment. Let me explain why. She does have Kagura's Verity, which is pretty funny, but I believe she works with this because you can basically spam her skill and get all 3 stacks for Kagura very quickly. But currently she's on 2-piece Thundering Fury and 2-piece Noblesse. Originally, I had her on just standard 4-piece Thundering Fury, I'm pretty sure. The reason why her build is incomplete now is because she used to have one of my best crit damage or like crit rate. I forget which circlet, Thundering Fury circlets. But when I was working on my Miko build, I realized, wait a minute, I don't really use Miko. I don't really use Lisa a lot. Let me take the crown that my Lisa had and give it to my Miko. So this used to be my Lisa, or the crown that my Lisa had, the circlet or whatever. But I have since given it to my Miko because I actually use my Miko a lot more often than I do Lisa, which is kind of a shame. Because I do want to use Lisa more often, so it does make me feel kind of bad. But yeah, I do want to go back and give Lisa a much better artifact set. I don't know what I would switch her to. Maybe I'll go run standard 4-piece Thundering Fury on her again, or I could switch her to like, I don't know, 4-piece Gilded. But I fucking hate Gilded Domain, so fuck that place. We'll see what I end up doing though. But yeah, that originally my Lisa had some seriously cracked out build. The only thing it really needed more of was probably crit rate, because I think she was running even back then like only like 50 or like high 50% crit rate, like 58, 59%, maybe even 57. But yeah, she has some really good artifacts. Like this is one of my best off pieces for sure, which is overall. And I've had this one for since forever, I think. I think this is a 3-year-old piece here. Off-piece feather. Her flower is okay. Even this crown's okay, too. At least it has 10% crit rate to work with. This cup is actually quite nice, because it gives her a lot of injury recharge, and it somehow still manages to be double crit. So that's actually quite a nice cup, all things considered. And then her timepiece is also quite nice, too. Even though the crit stats could have been better. I mean, double crit stat attack percent timepieces are kind of really rare to come by anyway. So you know, whatever you can get, you'll use. So, but yeah, eventually I want to come back and revise my overhaul my Lisa's artifact sets. So one day that'll happen. I just don't know when. But she is also C6. Again, because over the last 3 years, I've bought out every single Lisa copy from Star Glitter Shop whenever she shows up. So yeah, she's finally C6 after God knows how long. And 9, 12, 12. There you go. But yeah, do want to come back to Lisa at some point. Razor, Mr. Razor. All right. So he's also another example of an incomplete build, but. Again, I have a reason for that, and it's because my Razor used to have my R5 Serpent Spine, right? So because Serpent Spine has like 27% crit rate main stat, yeah, with that then his crit stat would be a lot better. It would go up to like 65% crit rate or something like that. But since then, I've given my R5 Serpent Spine to my Beto because I felt like I would use Beto a lot more, and she kind of needed a crit rate main stat weapon. To make stat building on her a lot easier. And so yeah, I've swapped around their weapons because my Beta used to use a Wolf's Gravestone copy. But now my Razor has this, and then my Beta has R5 Serpent Spine. So yeah, this means that I do need to go back and revise my build for who is it? For Razor. Yeah, for Razor. So I believe the specific build he had with R5 Serpent Spine called for attack percent cup, but now that what is it? He's using Wolf's Gravestone. I think I can go back to like either physical, maybe physical, probably. Maybe I'll keep him on attack percent. I don't know. Maybe that's good enough for him. But yeah, he does run 4-piece Pale Flame. The reason why this works is because you can do EQE combos with them. because you can use his E once and then ult, and then use it when he ults, his E resets immediately, so you can go into E again, and that triggers the 4-piece Pale Flame bonus, the double 2-piece set bonus effect, and so yeah, you can take advantage of that basically. Because most of his damage should be physical, I believe. And yeah, he's also C6, naturally. One of the OG 4-stars. And then 9, 12, 12. So yeah. He was in my original Razor build, or my final Razor build, intended him to run intended him to use R5 Serpent Spine, but yeah. Since then I've given it to Beto, who we'll talk about right now. So yeah, with R5 Serpent Spine, my Beto's stats look like this: 70% crit rate, 184 crit damage, and 152 energy recharge, which is much better than what she used to have to work with before. Before, my original Beto build was a parry build, where I would put as much emphasis into her just her attack stats in general, her attack and crit stats, so that way she could parry as hard as possible. However, I've come to realize begrudgingly, because I love parry builds, I think Beto having a parry is super fucking cool, and she does a shit ton of damage off of it if you build it properly. But however, I have eventually come to realization that her ultimate is just way more useful, obviously. And so yeah, I've reluctantly made the choice to switch her build to focus more on her ultimate, right? Her ult support. So I've raised her. I was able to raise her energy recharge and give her R5 Serpent Spine that my Razor used to use, so that way she doesn't have to worry too much about crit stats, right? Because the challenge with running Beto is that you want to give her good enough crit stats, but also get a lot of energy recharge substats at the same time. And with Wolf's Gravestone, like, Wolf's Gravestone is good, but it doesn't give you crit stats as a main stat. So yeah, having R5 Serpent Spine just makes stat building on Beto just a lot easier. Because again, she got like what, an 80 cost ultimate, yeah, and yeah, that means that she needs a decent chunk of energy recharge. So yeah, I've had to switch her artifacts from like something like, I don't know, two-piece gladiator, like whatever her old build used to be that maximized her parry damage, her parry counter damage. And so yeah, switched over to 4-piece to bless, because you know, you gotta run this shit on Beto, right? She is C6 naturally, and she's 9, 12, 12. Originally, Beto was one of the 4-star characters that I did consider triple crowning. I might still triple crown her in the future, just because she's that hot. But, yeah. I will consider. But, for now, this is my Beto build. I haven't used her in a while. Maybe I should use her again. But, yeah. Here's Fischl, everybody's favorite Chuny in the game. Her crit stats are really nice. 71 crit rate, 210 crit damage, and then 106 ER. She doesn't need that much ER, I don't think. She's running R5 Skyward Harp. I had so many copies of Skyward Harp lying around, because just from all the weapon spooks that I've gotten over the years, that at some point last year, I'm pretty sure I was like, you know what, fuck, I don't think I'm ever going to actually level up all these Skyward Harp copies individually. So I just threw up my hands and said fuck it, and gave her R5 Skyward Harp. And even after that, as you can see, I still have like 4 spare copies of Skyward Harp 2 left over, with my Cole using one and my Sarah using one as well. And I still have 2 copies left over. So you can tell how many times I got spooked by Skyward Harp. So hey, guess how many weapon rolls I lost? So, yeah, R5 Skyward Harp definitely carries my official build here. She is still on 2-piece Thundering Fury and 2-piece Gladiator, so this is an old build. Obviously, nowadays, I believe the Hunter set, or not the Hunter set, sorry, the Golden Trope set, the one that buffs skill damage, is her best in slot now. So thankfully, the Golden Trope set that we've gotten with Fontaine has kind of given Fischl a kind of a renaissance in usage, because she loves that shit, because most of her damage comes from, obviously, from Oz, from her skill. And, of course, her ultimate, once she, you know, gets out of it, of course. So yeah, one day I think I'll go ahead and try to revise our artifacts to give her the updated the updated, not hunter. I keep saying that. The updated golden trope set. But as of right now, I obviously don't feel a need to. Like, her stats are obviously good enough. So yeah, if I ever do want to use Fischl, she's there. I really like her costume too. Yeah, I think I like her costume that we got from that one Golden Archipelago event a lot better than her default. Let me go answer my phone. And by answer my phone, I mean mute it. Anyways, but that's my Fischl build. Here's Sarah. This is what her stats look like. 68 CR, 153 CD, and 60% energy recharge. And she's got R1 Skyward Harp. 4 pieces to bless. Because she's meant to be a support. I usually use her to support, like, I don't know, Raiden or Miko usually. C6. Naturally, because I went for C6 Raiden, so. And 9, 12, 12. Pretty straightforward. I don't really use Sarah that much. I used to use her a little bit more often. Back in, like, year 1 / year 2. Back when I used her to support Raiden specifically. Again, her or Miko. Nowadays, I don't really use her anymore. Because my favorite Raiden team nowadays is Yelan, Raiden, Nahida, and Jin. For like this like very weird but like still really effective Hyper Bloom team. And then Jin's there for healing, damage mitigation, and since she's C6, her C2 allows you gives her team like a 15% attack speed boost. Both movement and attack speed, which is fantastic. So yeah. Because of that, I don't really use Sarah anymore, but she's still here whenever I feel like I need to use her. There goes my phone again. Jesus Christ. Maybe I should just mute my phone altogether. But I'll just keep my phone on me so I can turn off my phone as soon as I get a call. Anyways, so interruptions. And this video's already gone for almost an hour long, and we still have all these characters left to go. Maybe I'll split this video up into 2 parts where I just go over the 4 stars just for the sake of time, and all the 5 stars I'll go over in like a second follow-up video or something like that. Cause yeah, I gotta get going here pretty soon. Cause IRL plans. Anyways, here's Cookie. 62 CR, 121 CD with 38% energy recharge. Even though she's a support, I still managed to give her some semblance of crit stats. She actually used to have better crit stats in the past. She used to have like what 70 crit rate, 140 crit damage, which would be a lot better. But I believe I had to revise her stats around a little bit. So, yeah, her crit stats did fall, but they're still good enough for the time being. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember now. Now that I look at her weapon. Cookie, I used to run her with Jade Cutter. Not this sword. This sword. Yeah. I used to run her with Jade Cutter. But then, Nilo came out. And then with Nilo came the key of Kajni Soot. And, yeah, apparently Kajni Soot was going to be your best in slot. So I was like, alright, fuck it. I'm going to roll 3 copies of them. 1 for Cookie, 1 for Layla, and 1 for Nilo. And so that's exactly what I did. So yeah, Jade Cutter made it easier to stat build on Cookie. But obviously, Key doesn't have any crit stats. It's just a fat HP stat stick. So there you go. But yeah, I remember now. That's why my Cookie stats, crit stats anyway, fell a little bit from 70 140 down to 60 120 basically. Yeah, for that reason, because I switched her main weapon, or I switched her weapon out. But yeah, 4 pieces noblesse, C6, and then 9 12 12. I run Cookie quite frequently, naturally, because she's one of the best actually, Electro characters to trigger Hyper Bloom with. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, she's there in case I ever need her. And I do need her quite a bit. So yeah, I use Cookie pretty often. I still remember back in the day when people were like, "Why the fuck do we need an Electro healer?" I was like, "You poor souls, you poor fucking souls." Anyways, That's my cookie build. Dory. Wonder how many people remember this character. No crit stats, because again, she's meant to be a support. 200% energy recharge, because I believe because she's a support, her ultimate costs like 80 or something. Yep, there it is. One of the few, I think she's the only character that I had that actually legit runs Sacrificial Greatsword. As funny as that is. But I mean, hey, it does give her energy recharge main stats, so there you go. And then I actually run 2-piece Maidens and 2-piece Tenacity on her. But yeah. Yeah, I don't need to run 2-piece Emblem on her because again, her main stat her weapon gives her a lot of energy recharge already. So no need for 2-piece Emblem. So I might as well give her like more HP and a little bit more and then Maidens. Ideally, I think the Maiden set should be something else, but I give her Maidens anyway because that way her ultimate can heal faster. Because I might as well. C6 and then 9, 12, 12. I actually have a higher opinion of Dory than the vast majority of people in the Genshin community. I really like the fact that her ultimate gives your current character charge. I think that's super cool. And considering she's Electro, right? You run her on a double Electro setup. That means that, you know, your team's energy gain should be really, really good. And so, yeah, I have run Dory in Abyss before, like in a serious team. And she seems to work pretty well. From the times that I've used her. But then again, my experiences with like lesser known characters can be a little different because of the sheer quality of my account, because every character in my game is built. So at that point it's like, well, okay, yeah, any character can be useful, right? So yeah, I have a higher opinion of Dory than most, so that's why she's here. And I have used her before. I don't really use her nowadays, but again, like I keep saying, she's there if I need her. Kaya dripped out in his summer outfit, if you can even call it that. But yeah, here are his stats: 60% CR, 170 CD, with the 190% energy recharge. His crit stat being or his crit rate stat being this low is fine because usually I run him in double cryo teams anyway. So he's going to be getting that free 15% crit rate. It'll bring it up to what, 75%. Funnily enough, he does use Summit Shaper. Mainly because of a lack of a better sword that I could give him. I don't know even what I could give him. Actually, maybe I could give him a Mist Splitter, as funny as that is. Yeah, I might actually seriously consider giving like Mist Splitter or something like that. Yeah. I'm not sure how good he'd be with Light of Foliar Incision. It'd be kind of funny to run him like that. We'll run him with that, but yeah, I think Mist Splitter might be a better sword for him. I would have to look up like exactly how good he synergizes with Mist Splitter though. But yeah, I guess I could change Summit Shaper to something else. But yeah, this is the sword he's been running just because, you know, attack percent kick. But yeah, if I start running Mist Splitter on him, then yeah, he can actually run 61. He can actually have a 200 plus crit damage stat line, which is again very funny. But yeah, his artifacts look like this. He's on 4-piece. Actually, not even 4-piece. 2-piece Blizzard and 2-piece Noblesse. Yeah, because I wanted to maximize his ult damage mainly. Even this build, he's still been able to do pretty decently on the times that I've used him. But yeah, kind of a scuffed Kaya build, but it still works. Still works plenty well for my for what I need him to do. And he recently became C6. Well, I say recently, but it was more like last year. But yeah, he's finally like C6. I think KO is my last character that I need to get to of the 3 free 4 stars, your starter 4 stars, that I need to get to C6. So he is now. So yeah, 9, 12, 12. So yeah, now that I think about it, I could probably switch Kaya's weapon to something better. Because yeah, I do have 2 spare copies of Mist Splitter now somehow. So I might as well use one of them. See if he works with the Mist Splitter or not. And assuming he does, I'll level it just for him. I'll let you guys know next month. if I've decided to do that. Alright, Changyeon. Our original our original national DPS. But yeah, here he is. His stats aren't very good. I've never really focused too much on Chongyun, but you know, 61 CR, 116 CD. It's kind of like the 1 to 2 crit damage ratio, so it's good enough for me anyway. And 30% energy recharge. Hilariously, Chongyun does so much damage that only having these crit stats is actually still not bad for him. I mean, especially if you run him with Shenhe, his aunt. So yeah. He also runs Wolf's Gravestone, so that probably helps him a ton. It helps him out a ton too. But he's also got the same build as my Kea, 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Blizzard Strayer. Because again, I wanted to maximize his ult damage. He is at C6 and 9, 12, 12. Yeah. But yeah, here's my Chongyun. Kind of a scuffed build. I could definitely do better with him. But like honestly, he doesn't need it just because his ultimate usually does so much damage anyway. Especially because I run him with his aunt, like I said, Shenhe. So yeah, his stats for now are perfectly fine. Diona, or as Mr. Code likes to call her, I believe it's Mr. Code who calls her this, Diano, as a meme. No crit stats, naturally. She's a support, and 183 energy recharge. She runs Sackbow, R5, and then naturally 4-piece Noblesse, C6, and 9, 12, 12. 9, 12, 12. Yeah. Diano is probably, other than Ben, of course, Diano is probably the most. I used to use her a ton back in the day. Nowadays, not really so much, but back in the day before Cookie and before Danger teams in general, I ran a lot of perma-freeze teams. So my perma-freeze teams would be something like, I don't know, Diano, Ganyu, Mona, and like another Hydro character, I forget who. Maybe Xingqiu. I didn't use Xingqiu that much back in the day, even then, so it had to be another Hydro character. Whoever that was, it's kind of slipping my mind at the moment. But yeah, like Diano used to be my OG cryo healer support, but ever since we gotten, like, for example, Kokomi, and like now we've gotten Danger teams, I've been using Diano a lot less and less and less, unfortunately. I still use her from time to time though, especially whenever we get those like combat events, or like, oh, you want to run freeze teams, I'm just like, ooh, I know who I want to use here. So yeah, I still keep Diano around though. But yeah, cat girl, cryo healer girl, whatever. Rosaria, my favorite 4-star character in the game. You can tell because she's the only 4-star character that I've actually bothered crowning, and this is my most recent, or one of my more recent triple crowns too. So if you actually go back and watch my Wales logs, yeah, you can actually see the Wales log where, like, oh yeah, I've decided to commit to triple crowning Rosaria. But here's her stats: 71, 207 CD with a 121 energy recharge. She's got her own Staff of Homa, naturally, and she's on, again, 2-piece Noblesse and a 2-piece Blizzard Strayer. I know that she can also run, for example, 4-piece Emblem, but she's good enough with this already. Like, I don't feel the need to change this at all. She's at C6, and again, triple crown. My first and only 4-star character so far that I have actually bothered triple crowning because I just like her that much. Again, Beidou was probably going to be my other choice as well, but so far just Rosaria. And yeah, I'm very proud of my Rosaria build. And on a side note, I think Rosaria's censored skin, her censored Chinese skin, is the best looking out of all the 4 censored skins that we got back in the day when we first got them. I legit am not even upset that Rosaria looks like this, just because she looks so fucking sick in this outfit. Like, sure, yeah, I'll run her base skin just because, you know, I'm a fucking Coomer and, you know, fishnets. But this outfit, like, if this is the kind of quality they're gonna give censored outfits, then I actually don't really mind this. Yeah, just for the record. So yeah, I am not opposed to running Rosaria in this outfit at all. Like, her and Mona are the 2 characters out of the 4 that, like, the censored outfits are actually not bad. And Rosaria is by far the best one, like, by a country mile. Hers is the best. I'm sure most people will agree with me. because it actually looks fucking unique, as opposed to this, right? It gives her a very distinct look to it. So, yeah, I don't mind this at all. It's almost like MiHoYo gave Rosaria a second outfit for completely free. At least for us overseas players. Obviously, the Chinese players can only use the censored outfit, but, you know, yeah. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Now, if only they could restore Rosaria's original titty size, that'd be great too. Here's Layla. She has a lot of crit damage because I actually envisioned her. I actually built her with 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. So yeah, I would normally run her on like at least double Cryo Resonance teams. So and on freeze teams as well. So yeah, like ideally she should be having, or she should be able to work with like 55% extra crit rate. So that would bring her crit rate up all the way up to like what, 79, 80% crit rate, something like that. And she's got a bit of energy recharge as well. But yeah, she has Ki, because I believe that's her best in slot. And again, like I said, she runs 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. She doesn't do a lot of damage, so obviously 4-piece Blizzard Strayer is not ideal, but I run her with this anyway, because I've never really, felt the need to change this. Ideally, I believe her best in slot artifact set is like, what, 4-piece Tenacity? So yeah, I've entertained thoughts of switching her to 4-piece Tenacity, but I've never actually got around to doing it. Because yeah, even though she doesn't do a lot of damage, like 4-piece Blizzard Strayer has always been more than enough for me, more than enough for my Layla build anyway. So yeah, I like Layla. She's cute, sleepy, narcoleptic, cryo, waifu, whatever. She's just like me, for real, for real. C6, of course, and then 9, 12, 12. So there you go. There's Layla. Mika, Mr. Chocobo dude. Yeah. Got a little bit of crit rate because I believe I have him running Favonius Lance. Yep. So he has a little bit of crit rate, just for the sake of scoring some crits every now and then. 163 energy recharge. Again, R5 Fav. And then 4-piece Noblesse, because I didn't know what else to give him. I actually don't think a lot of his artifacts are even leveled. Yeah, his cup isn't even leveled. His feather isn't even leveled, so I have to get around to doing that at some point. You can tell how much I use Mika because, I don't. C0, and then 999. Yeah, the ironic part about Mika, and the unfortunate part of Mika, is that I hear that he's actually, even though he's supposed to buff, like he's intended to be a physical buffer, I mean, just judging from his C6, I'm pretty sure. C6 or wherever else he gets that 60% crit damage buff for physical users. He doesn't even work that well with Eula, because by the time Eula gets her full combo going, like Mika's crit damage buff for physical characters will have already worn off. So it's like, what the fuck is the point then, right? So yeah. As you can tell, I don't really use Mika that much. Fremine, speaking of a character that I don't use too much, here's Fremine. Only 43 CR because he's cryo. I usually run him in double cryo teams anyway, so he'll be getting the extra 15% crit rate. 161 crit damage, 158 energy recharge. I haven't really focused too much on his build specifically, but maybe one day I will. He unironically uses Skyward Pride because he actually the vacuum blades that Skyward Pride creates actually works in his favor, because I think they also do physical damage. I actually don't know if the physical damage from the vacuum blades actually scales with with Fremine. Actually, do you even want to run him physical anyway? Probably not, right? Because what do I have him on? Yeah, cryo. So yeah, it's like whatever. But yeah, I'm able to use him with that. I mean, if I ever want to use it, if I ever want him to use Wolf's Gravestone, again, that's always an option because I got a spare one lying around here. So yeah, but right now he uses Skyward Pride. He actually surprisingly uses Skyward Pride very well. He actually does quite a bit of damage even with this, so it's quite nice. He's on 4-piece Blizzard Strayer. Normally he should be on the Golden Trope set, because he gets most of his damage from, or all of his damage basically, from spamming his skill, basically. Yeah, so ideally he should be on the golden trope set, but at the time that I got him, obviously I wasn't able to farm the new at the time the golden trope and hunter set very much. So I just gave him the pieces that I had on hand and put together a real quick 4-piece Blizzard's Trayer build. So yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to go back and farm some golden trope pieces for him. He's only C3. And he is at 999. So his talents are maxed out, minus crowns, obviously. So yeah. I do like Fremenay's playstyle where you just spam skills. I think it's pretty fun. I do plan on using him, trying him out seriously in like Abyss in like a perma-freeze team or whatever. So I feel like that'd be pretty fun. Here's Charlotte. 70% CR, 151 CD. Surprisingly has pretty good stats for, I guess, a support. Charlotte is a support, right? 138 ER. She does run with Sith. I'm not sure what else to really run her with, because I think the only other crit damage weapons are like Novalet's book, or Catalyst, I should say. Whatever the fuck this is, the Wanderer's thingy. Or like Kagra's Verity. I think everything else is like something else not crit damage related. So I decided to just give her Witseth because I think my Charlotte build, when I was building her, I was like, huh, what stat do I need? Oh, she needs crit damage. Okay, I'll just give her Witseth. So this is what she's using. Surprisingly, I was able to put her on Golden Trope. I forget why. I don't even know if she even wants Golden Trope. It's gonna be kind of funny if it turns out she doesn't and she actually wants something else. But I was like, I think she wants Golden Trope. I guess I'll give it to her. And so there she is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she wants Golden Trope. Because of how her skill works, as you know, snapshot and the skill when she hits people with it. Especially if she full charges her skill and she snapshots, and hits enemies with it. Yeah, they take continued cryo damage from it, and it all counts as skill damage, I believe. So, yeah, I think she wants Golden Trope. Surprisingly, she already got to C5. I only rolled for one. I only managed to get one copy back when she first came out. I forget who she came out with. Maybe with Farina or whoever. But at the time, I only got one copy, maybe 2 copies at C1. But I've steadily gotten more and more copies of Charlotte just from like random like weapon banner pulls and shit like that, and even just like random character banner pulls, and just like random ass spooks. I'm just like, huh, okay. I guess I'll take these. And, yeah, somehow she's already at C5 now. Like, holy shit, okay. Alright, I don't know when this happened, but sure, I'll take it. But she is only at 699 because, yeah, she should have come out with Farina because she needs the new whale weekly boss materials. And because I've been focusing mainly on Farina and, who is it? Navia. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not able to spare those new weekly materials for anybody else at the moment. So, Charlotte, unfortunately, just like Chevy, is going to have to stay at 699 for the time being. Until my Navi is also triple crowned. So, there she is. Alright, who is it? Sucrose. Sucrose. Naturally, no crit stats because Elemental Mastery. 155 energy recharge. That ER could be higher. Honestly, it should be. Because her ultimate is, I believe, 80 cost. Yep. But it's good enough for me for the moment. For whatever I need to use her for. She runs Sack Frags. R5, naturally. And then 4-piece Viridescent. C6 and Night 12. Yeah. Normally, I don't really use Sucrose because, you know, Kaz was a little too good. But every now and then, I will run Sucrose just because she's cute. Yes. So, yeah. She's there whenever I feel like I want to run her. Here's Sayu. Again, no crit stats because Elemental Mastery. 163 energy recharge because, again, I think her ultimate does cost like 80 or whatever. Yeah, because she's got a more support ultimate. She does have Wolf's Gravestone, And it's hilarious because whenever you have the lolly characters like Sayu or Dori bust out their weapons, that the weapons are very small. They've down the game literally downscales their weapons to match their body models or their body model. It's really cute, hilarious even. So yeah, I run her with Wolf's Greystone and then 4-piece Viridescent. Because yeah, just keep rolling around with her skill. C6 and 9, 12, 12. I have used Cyan Abyss before. It's hilarious. I don't really use her seriously, but for like up to floor like floor 12 or not floor 11 or whatever. Yeah, sometimes I figure I just want to use Sayu, you know, run her with Xiangling, Xingqiu or whatever. All the orbitals under the sun. Actually, not Xingqiu, because you actually have to attack with her. Who is it? Kaya, because they all have orbital ultimates, and just run around, just fucking, you know, while playing the City Escape theme song in the background. Here's my Hazo. Yeah, 81 CR, 180 CD, just about, and 129 ER. He also has his own Lost Prayer, which is why his crit rate is so high. And he also runs 4-piece Viridescent. And C6. And 9, 12, 12. Our original punchy boy. Until Risley came along and joined him. But yeah. I really like running Hazo. At least back when I used to ran him. He's a lot of fun actually. So I don't mind using him again at some point. Here's Farazan. Our local Miku spy. Yeah. So, she's got 64 CR, 140 CD, 200% energy recharge. Again, another one of my weird cases where I gave crit stats to a support character, or who's supposed to be a support character. Which is funny because that she has that good of stats. Because she runs Elegy. So yeah, there you go. And I'm pretty sure her artifacts, I can improve her artifacts where she can get 70% crit rate. It'll just be very tough, obviously. But yeah, she runs 2-piece Viridescent and 2-piece Gladiator because I believe she's like Bennett where, actually, is she like Bennett? No, I don't think so. So I take that back. But I believe her ultimate scales with how much attack she has, which is why she's got a 2-piece Gladiator there. I actually don't know what her best artifact set is now that I think about it. I remember being told that 4-piece Viridescent wouldn't be that good on her because it's not really much of a point of running 4-piece Viridescent. 2-piece Viridescent should be good enough. So, which would explain why, you know, I'm running double 2-piece sets on her. She is C6 though, and then 9, 12, 12. I usually run, if I do use Farazan, I do run her with a Wanderer, I'm pretty sure. Because they both came out on the same banner, I'm pretty sure. Back in the day. Lynette, another cute cat girl. No crit stats because, you know, she's meant to be swirl girl. Only 120 energy recharge, which is unfortunate because I believe her ultimate, I forget if her ultimate is 60 or, yeah, it's 70. So ideally her ultimate, her energy recharge should be higher at like 30 or 40%. Oh, there I go, exiting the character menu again. Where are we at? Here she is. Okay, we're almost done for this part of the video. But, yeah. I run her as Swirl. Here's the weapon. I've been looking for a character to run Zephos' Moonlight on, and finally, when Lynette came out, I was like, yes, finally somebody can use my R3 Moonlight. And so, yeah, she's using it. And then she's on 4-piece Viridescent. I actually don't know if she wants 4-piece Viridescent. I would imagine as a Fontaine character, she would probably be more in tune with, like, the Hunter set or whatever, because she does have that gimmick where her HP goes up and down or whatever. However, she's still running 4-piece Viridescent for the time being. So, there you go. C3. And 9, 9, 12. So, she's recently gotten maxed out. So, yeah, there's my Lynette. Again, cute cat girl. Or cute Fontaine, or cute French cat girl. That's a statement I never thought I would say in my life, but here we are. I actually don't use Lynette too much. I think I've tried her once for Abyss, but I don't think I've tried her seriously. Maybe I should try using her more seriously in like Abyss 12 or something. Because she is fun to play. Alright, now time for our last element, Geo. Ningguang. So, my Ningguang has 63 CR, 140 CD, and a little bit of energy recharge, 138. She does use Memory of Dust. Yeah. Matter of fact, I have 2 spare copies of Memories of Dust, and I actually don't know who else would even want these, so I'm actually strongly considering just combining these copies and just giving her R3 Memory of Dust, because that'd be hilarious. She does have a very old build on 2-piece Archaic Petra and 2-piece Gladiator. So yeah, you can tell that this build is very, very old. C6 and then 9-12-12. I still sometimes run Ningguang, not as much as I used to in the past, but yeah. Maybe I'll run Ningguang in like the mono Geo team of like Zhongli and like Albedo or something or whatever, but we'll see. But yeah, I still like running Ningguang from every now and then with the good old shotgun build. Switch over to our party dress because it's New Year, Chinese New Year's now, so to match the mood. But yeah. Ningguang, everybody. I actually don't know what her ideal artifact set is nowadays, but you know, she still does a ton of work. Anytime we get the that Geo Wolf boss, the Geo Wolf Lord or whatever his name is, yeah, Ningguang's all. I'm gonna bust out my Ningguang always, because Ningguang is like the hard counter to that dude, because all of her attacks, since she's a catalyst user, all of her attacks are Geo, and you can destroy his totems. You have to destroy his totems when he enters that phase with Geo attacks. So yeah, Ningguang is just really convenient to have, just because, you know, just boom, 3 normal attacks and they're done. So yeah, I always keep my Ningguang in handy just in case they throw the wolf boss at us again in Abyss, and they have several times. Here's Noelle. 68 CR, 178 CD with under 155 ER. She has her own red horn, which is good, and she's on 4-piece husk. Individually, her pieces aren't that great, but I mean, at least she's got a functional build here. And then C6 and 9-12-12. So yeah, I don't know the last time I used Noelle. I've never really used Noelle, even back in the day, because again, I had healers basically ever since I started the game, so yeah, I didn't really feel the need to run Noelle, but I built her anyway because, you know, fuck it, she's cute. So yeah, there's my Noelle build, even though I don't really use her all that often, if at all. Goro, here he is. Here he's got 70 CR, not a lot of CD. I think it's because he has Sakpo. If he had Fav, is there even a Favonius bow? Does that exist? I feel like it does. Surely, there must exist like a Favonius bow, right? Sack bow. Yeah, Favonius warbow. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, I guess the crit rate would have made more sense if he had what is it? If he had R5's Favonius bow, but I use sack bow on him instead. R5 sack bow. He also runs 4-piece husk. I don't think he needs to, because he's more of a support, I think. So it's like, why would he need 4-piece husk? But here it is anyway. Honestly, with how I use him, I probably should give him like 4-piece noblesse or something. To be honest. Because sometimes, now that I have Navia, now that I think about it, now that I'm considering running Ningguang, like, yeah, Goro could use 4-piece noblesse to support the attack scaling Geo characters too, or whatever. But for now, he'll still run a 4-piece husk. He's C6 and he's 9-12-12. So yeah, I use Goro actually quite frequently because I love running mono Geo. I think it's hilarious running mono Geo, just rampaging through Abyss with nothing but Geo damage. It's fucking funny. My standard Geo mono Geo team would be what? Ito, Albedo, Goro, and Zhongli. Yeah. Just boys night out and just fucking wreck through Abyss with nothing but Geo damage, big dick Geo damage. So yeah, and then Goro naturally is there to help out the boys, Ito especially. And then finally, we have Yunjin, who has 61 CR, 145 CD, and a 177 ER. She's got deathmatch on her. Surprisingly, she's got my my R5 deathmatch here from the battle pass. And then she's also got 4-piece husk, C6, and then 9 12 12. Reason why I've built Yunjin with crit stats again, yet again another example of a support that I gave crit stats to, is because again she has a parry. She's like the spear version of Beidou, where she got a parry and a counter right after if you hit the parry timing. And so yeah, at the time I was like, yeah, I want to max out Yunjin's personal damage so that way she does a lot of parry damage. But given that Yunjin is a spear user, yeah, her multipliers are just not as good. So she doesn't do a whole ton of damage, but she's there in case I feel like being a little fancy. You know, and just flexing on enemies in Abyss or whatever, just parry everything. So, yeah, she is there. I have used her from time to time to support Yoimiya back when she first came out, but given that my usual Yoimiya build is Yelan, Yoimiya, Zhongli, and Bennett, I don't really use Yunjin that much. So, it's a shame that I don't use Yunjin more often. But she is here in case I ever feel like running her with Yoimiya or another normal attacker. So yeah. So, and then from here on are all the 5 stars. So I think I'll go over all the 5 stars in a separate video because this video is already going on almost for an hour and a frickin' half, and I got IRL plans that I gotta catch up on. So yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the second half of this Wales log. So, peace. We'll see you then.